Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Marchich here with your outlook for July 23rd, 2015. And after yesterday's beautiful day, we get the wash, rinse, repeat today. The only difference between yesterday and today is we're going to decrease the winds a little bit. It was a little gusty in the afternoon as far as winds are concerned, but it wasn't too bad overall. I mean, most areas had mostly sunny skies and a low humidity, so we weren't really dealing with much in the way of any problems with your Wednesday, but Thursday is going to be a repeat of that, just lower winds. The cold front is far enough to the south now where high pressure is in full control, and that is going to be continue to be controlled today, tomorrow, and again on Saturday. The next chance of precipitation will come Sunday, but it's a very low precipitation chance, and I'll go through this here a little bit so we can see what was going on. Here's a look at Friday. It's pretty much same idea here. Here's Saturday, mostly sunny once again with high pressure control. Now the winds are going to shift direction here on Saturday with the high pressure moving over toward Maine. Of course, clockwise flow around high pressure here, so we're talking about a southeasterly wind as opposed to northwest that we'll be dealing with today. So that's really the only difference that we're dealing with on Saturday, but it'll still be mostly sunny on Saturday. And then we get into Sunday, and this front's going to approach here from the northwest. Not a lot of precipitation with it. Very isolated precipitation is expected. So this has sped up a little bit from what we did the video on Wednesday. It has sped up a little bit, so we might have to deal with the showers and thunderstorms late in the day here on Sunday. But out ahead of it, we're going to have the dew points increasing, humidity increasing a little bit here on Sunday because of the southwesterly winds that are going to be kicking in here on Sunday. So, of course, high pressure is off to our east now, and that will allow for the increase in humidity. Going to beyond this, we're going to go into the next frame here. Here is your isolated chance of the shower or thunderstorm. Basically what's going on here with this model anyway is showing here. The cold front's still back here on Sunday evening. A little prefrontal trough trying to form along that, and you might have a few showers and thunderstorms across our coverage area. Again, very isolated, maybe like a 20% chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm late in the day on Sunday, but otherwise, straight through the weekend looks fantastic. And then going into Monday, we're going to give you a little, the frontal boundaries looks like it's going to get hung up a little bit. Might become the focus for a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms as opposed to isolated. And that would be, again, Monday afternoon, Monday evening, when the heating of the day takes place. And then on Tuesday, we're going to warm up even further. We're going to get progressively warmer as we get starting on Friday. Today's going to be the low humidity day, probably lower 80s, maybe 80 to 85 from north to south. Then we get into Friday's an increase by a couple degrees. Same thing on Saturday. Temperatures are going to increase by a couple degrees. By the time we get into early next week, I think we're going to make a run at 90 again in many locations. And the first day that would happen would probably be on Monday for down toward the Philadelphia metropolitan area. It might make a run in 90 down there. As we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even Thursday of next week, and those are going beyond our forecast range here, but it looks like you're making a larger area will make a run at 90 degrees, and it probably were the same areas that we were hitting the 90-degree mark last time, kind of like in this area here, excluding northern PA. This is getting out a little bit far here, so we don't really want to jump the gun too much, but all indications are at that point that we will be warming up, and that warm-up begins actually progressively once this front gets kind of hung up here, especially at early next week. As a middle next week, we're going to be talking about temperatures close to 90 degrees. So, one thing that we're talking about here as we get into next week here, just an isolated chance of a thunderstorm left in the forecast here on Tuesday. You can see that here, not really much going on here, but it doesn't look like we're dealing with any precipitation again until we get later in the week, probably dealing with that on Thursday of next week. But again, we're getting too far ahead of ourselves here. There's about a week away. Definitely time for things to change between now and then. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Marchich, and that is your outlook for July 23rd, 2015. Have a great Thursday.